Hello everyone, welcome back to another stream on FPL Chai. Hope we are all well. As usual, let me quickly pull up my team and change the timer as usual, like we do in every single stream. I hope we're all well. Another week, another red arrow, although I'm a bit unsure of my own team. That's the best way to put it. Let me see who's in here. Who we got in here? We have MJ, we got Reese Clay, we got Franok, Asmus, Sally, Amir. But yeah, my triple captain is active. Let me quickly do a little review on last game week, see where things went wrong for myself. We got Derek O'Reilly says, the GOAT, come on you Spurs. We got Cole Ingram who says morning from South Africa. MJ says, good morning lads. ZJ says, hey. So if we quickly look at our game week 31 wildcard. George, good to see you, my man. Really poor result considering we just had wildcarded. And we also got Zoid. He says, hey bro, good morning. 39 points on a wildcard, very, very poor. Of course, that Arsenal clean sheet being cancelled out. Manoz and Byrne coming up with some goods. Livramento easily outdoing Byrne though. Palmer being really disappointing, of course, being benched. Eze with a nice little return. Saka, of course, being benched. Sarr, who I went with instead of Mateta, quite poor. Solanke, don't get me started on him. Of course, we have Isaac with a blank captaincy and Marmouche. Let's be real, it was a really poor week. And when I compare it to what I had, I originally had Jacob Murphy instead of Sarr. I had Jean-Philippe Mateta before Solanke. And I guess I was just silly. I tried to be a bit different and I got stung for it once again. But I don't mind, to be honest. I don't think Murphy was optimal. I think going Gordon was a mistake though. And I don't know if he's going to be fit for this United game. If we quickly go to my team for this game week. Like I said, I mean on paper it looks quite good. Probably easier to look at on FPL team. Let me quickly make the team. That is how we currently line up. For anyone that's listening, Rhea, Manoz, Burns, Saliba, Eze, Saka, Gordon, Palmer, Sarr, Marmouche and Isaac. On the bench we got Solanke, Diaz and Konsa. Now, I could easily have Saka, Gordon and Saliba not play for me. Which is quite awkward, to be honest. And I don't know how that's ended up happening considering I wildcarded last week. Of course, I've one free transfer, 0.0 in the bank. One move that I think is on the cards but I don't really want to do is Gordon to Jacob Murphy. I just really don't have a good status on Gordon. Like, because he's a double, I just feel like if he gets that second game, it's probably worth holding on to him. Maybe that's just me, or even playing the likes of a Solanke instead if he doesn't get that United game. But yeah, I'm quite stumped on my own team, I'll be honest. Much love from Kenya, says Moses. And MJ says Gordon to Murphy. That's exactly what I was thinking. Let me pull up my team here so it's a bit easier to look at. Gibbs White for Sarr for a hit, says Sports Express. I don't love that move. I wouldn't do it personally. It's two tough fixtures for Crystal Palace. Now, they can score in these big games, but I don't love that move. FPL Doctor says, good morning, Chai. Good to see you, my man. MJ says, according to NUFC's official tweet, Gordon was on grass and will be assessed late tomorrow. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he features. It's just coming back from injury. He had a bad knock, of course, and then also being suspended for 3 games. He's probably out of rhythm as well. So I don't know how I feel about Gordon. I mean, it was a mistake. It was. I should have just played a safe one with Murphy. Rogers to Murphy, worth it? Is it worth it for me? Yes, I would say so. Would it be fine to start both Eze and Sarr in the 11? Yeah, for sure. Nothing wrong with that. Gabriel to Livramento, double game week 32, or to Saliba for bench boost 33. Um, I would probably do Livermento and then just do Saliba the next week, Sally. I'd take 100 minutes for sure. Which Villa player are we going for, Chai? I love Watkins if he's going to be back. That's the one I said that I'd be going for in game week 32 personally. Or 33, sorry. So Palmer for Rodgers, no chance. So I've got Saka, Foden, Rodgers, Saliba, Guardiola. Which three do I bench? I have three starting Dublin defenders. Which three do I bench? I'd be benching Saliba. I'll probably start Saka over Saliba, even though Saliba has more chance to start, but purely by the fact that Saka's an attacker. Besides Watkins, says Daniel. On wildcard, it would have been Rashford. Now, I do probably expect him to start, but I don't think his minutes are going to be too great. You're starting Saka? I don't know if I'm going to start Saka Lan. I really don't know. I think I'm likely to start Solanke. That's what I wanted to come in here and chat about. Because I've also got Gordon, who I do think will get minutes. I think it's likely that I bench Saka and start Solanke. Now, the only thing with Solanke is that he's also got Europa League coming up. If we look at Spurs' fixtures. I say also, of course, Arsenal are in the Champions League. You know what I mean? Wolves tomorrow, and then on the 17th of April, we've got Frankfurt. Now, he probably will play this game against Wolves. I'd be surprised if he doesn't. We don't have anyone else. Solanke got subbed. What minute did Solanke get subbed? You can't check on this. It's so annoying. But yeah. Hello, Choi. I think Saka is bench personally. Yeah, I agree. I do think Saka is also benched, but it's hard to bench a 10 point whatever million asset, 10.5. Hello, Chai. Marino, Saka, Murphy, and Salah. Rodgers in bench. What do you think? Yeah, I wouldn't change that. It's exactly how I'd have it. Or is it Rodgers over Saka? Rodgers is more likely to get more minutes than Saka because Rodgers just plays every single minute, even regardless of what's been going on in Champions League. Now, the fixtures are way more congested. Don't get me wrong, but this man don't really miss minutes. To be honest, or not. I don't know why I went on console. I just went to look at their fixtures. But yeah, I'd be surprised. I was trying to look at the fixture dates. And Champions League included, it is quite congested, but I still expect Rodgers to get some decent minutes. Triple captain on Isaac or wait for a double game week? I like it on Isaac, I'm not going to lie. And I kind of want to just put it out of the way. I'll be bench boosting next game week. In 34, I'll be free hitting. And I just kind of want to be able to plan my transfers without any other worries. I feel like this is a really nice double for Isaac. Tiny Fungus says, hi Chai. If I super chat, can you do a team review? Of course. Will I send it on Twitter or Team ID? Put your Team ID in the super chat. That's the easiest way to do it, Tiny Fungus, and we'll have a look through your team. Thank you. Kaka says, my bro, good to see you doing a live. Should I bring in Murphy for Asensio or for Rodgers? I'll be bringing in Murphy for Asensio personally. I feel like Rodgers is almost a season keeper for the price, especially if you have team value built up in him. Arteta shouldn't risk Saka, but knowing him, he'll start him. That's what I mean. He's been like, I feel like if he didn't want, like he said, Saka was fit enough to play. Usually Arteta just blatantly lies, and because he's not lied, I wouldn't be surprised if he's benched now because he's saying that he's fit. Whereas if he said he wasn't fit, I'd be expecting him to start. 3-0 up against Madrid. By the way, I haven't spoke about it because I wasn't live, but 2 unbelievable free kicks from Rice. But Saka would still prefer to play Champions League, of course. Rodgers to Gordon / Murphy or keep Rodgers. That's tough. You know what? I'd probably be inclined to keep Rodgers, especially for the double in 33, if I'm being honest. I don't know if it's worth the move. Any chance Marmoush bench for a mid-game week? I'd be surprised, Sally. I feel like I'll triple captain Marmoush for his predicted double game week later in the season instead of Isaac this game week. Will Isaac be over 200% EO? I would say so. I'd be very surprised if he's not. Last week, of course, we had Marmoush who we could throw the captaincy on. This week, I think it's because he's the double. We've no one really else other than Mateta. Are you Tottenham in disguise? I fucking am, unfortunately. It's not even in disguise anymore. Start Saka or Solanke. I'm going to be starting Solanke, I think. Unfortunately, which is not great. I mean, that is a really nice bench boost if everyone was getting minutes, but it ain't happening. Hey, should I start Martinez or Roya? I'm benching Saliba and starting Guardiola. Start Martinez or Roya. I would start Martinez. I would just go all in on no Arsenal then if you're not going to start Raya. Start Saka, Elanga or Konsa. It's a must win for Forest. Saka probably a doubt for minutes. I'll probably do Elanga. I would put the voice on Eze. Yeah, that's a good shout. Sorry. Should probably do that. Tiny Fungus with the €5 super chat. He says 542569. Cheers. Main concern is starting Saka or starting Rodgers. Okay, let me have a look at Tiny Fungus's team. 542569. And thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Tiny Fungus is in here week in, week out without a doubt. So let's take a look at his team. I believe Tiny Fungus have a decent season as well. Okay, so let's put in his double game week players, of course. Stick in Sar. Of course, Manoz. Double Palace defense, which is definitely interesting. So main concern is starting Saka or starting Rodgers. Let's do a poll. I feel like that's really close. So this is for Tiny Fungus's team. Start Saka or Rodgers. I'll give you my opinion after I see the poll. I think I know what I'd be doing though. I don't know. They're both kind of meh. More than shy. I was thinking triple captain this week on Isaac. Mark, I'm in the exact same boat. By the way, for anyone that has just joined us, this is not my team. This is Tiny Fungus's team who gave us a €5 super chat. We're just checking it out for him. He's one free transfer as well, he says. 70% on Rodgers currently. Evan Nilsson, by the way, last week. What a steal. Fair play. Would I be making a transfer this week? By the way, this is an amazing team. Imagine Saka was fit. This team is so good. I need to bench one. Saliba, Nico Williams, or Guardiola. I would be benching Nico Williams personally. So the poll is... We need more votes. Do vote on that poll. And while you're there, actually, do hit that like button. I appreciate everyone joining us. George says, leave a like if you're enjoying the stream. Exactly that. Thank you so much. Me, Alex, I would be starting Rodgers, personally. I would have it like this. I just feel like he's likely going to be benched. That's a really good bench, though. I'd have it exactly like this. Bench and triple Arsenal, though. That kind of sucks. More than shy. Triple captain Isaac. Exactly Davis West. That's what we're saying. And your team is also very solid for next week. Tiny Fungus. I'll be making a move, though, for sure. But we'll have a look at that next week. Is Saka not play? I think it's unlikely Saka plays, to be honest. What day do Arsenal play? Let's have a look at Arsenal. It's one less day than Spurs, I believe. So Arsenal play today, and then they play on the 16th of April, which is 4 days. Mark Parker says he might get Rodgers off the bench. I don't think so. I think Saka will probably come off the bench, in my opinion. Yeah, benching a player who's that expensive does hurt, but I'd be very surprised if he starts. And even if he does start, he's not getting more than 60. I doubt it. Why is Konsa benching against bottom of the league? For me, I don't know if Konsa's going to start. See, that's another thing. Start Konsa or Saliba for my own team. I don't know. I think Konsa is probably the most likely to start out of any of the defenders for Villa. Hi Shai, how you been doing? Start Saliba or Saka? I'll be starting Saka. I'm good. Like, Const's great if he starts, but Southampton actually haven't been too bad attacking wise. If we look at, I can never spell Southampton, by the way. Southampton. Okay. If we look at their last, let's just say 10. Quickly zoom in. They've scored against Liverpool, scored against Palace, Wolves, Tottenham. Didn't score against Chelsea or Brighton, but then Bournemouth, Ipswich, Newcastle, Forest, United. So they're not bad attacking wise, even though they're rock bottom. So if you consider Konsa potentially being benched, and then also consider the fact that Southampton actually aren't too bad. I don't know if I mind benching Konsa, to be honest, instead of Saliba. I'd probably rather risk starting Saliba. Liam Wall says, are you still hitting the gym? Absolutely, and I'm getting quite strong now. I'm delighted with how things are going with the gym. Weighted pull-ups are my new thing. Why Solanke and not Mateta? That was a mistake, Yusuf. It was more so Sarr over Mateta. I wanted to save some funds. I feel like Rodgers might be benched for Champions League. Rodgers is rarely benched though. You could be right. But I don't know. Let me quickly pull up Rodgers. Let's have a look at his minutes. So, like, Rodgers doesn't miss any games. Now, of course, this is getting to a different period where there are some really tough games in the Champions League for Villa. But still, like, he doesn't miss many minutes at all. I feel like he's a rhythm player. Once he's in rhythm, he's getting minutes. He's unstoppable. He's young as well, which I always feel like you're more likely to be thrown in. Now, it is a game against rock bottom Southampton, like we said, but someone has to play. What do you think of that? Any reliable sources on Villa or Arsenal? I don't think so. I don't think we've got anything. Again, the early kickoff is City, so I think the only chance we get any news for is City. My bench is Verbergen, Foden, Konsa, Gabriel, with 2 free transfers. Suggest transfers to play free hit. I would get rid of Gabriel for sure. What are we doing with Gordon? I'm holding on to him. How should I start Bowen or Saka? I start Bowen all day. Let's do a little scroll on Twitter, shall we? I feel like it's been a while since we've been on Twitter. By the way, I hope everyone is well. Coming towards the end of the season, we have how many weeks? 6 game weeks left. If we look at the fixture ticker, things are starting to get interesting. I think that's the best way to put it. Of course, we're in game week 32 now. I'm 220k, lads. I'm having a stinker. Having an absolute stinker. I just want to finish in the top 50k. I feel like top 50k is always respectable. Is it realistic though with triple captain, bench boost, free hit? I think so. I need things to go my way though. I feel like I've been playing decently. I've just been like going Gordon instead of Mateta was probably silly. Well, and Sarr. I could still spin my way this week though if Sarr does something. And of course, he also has a double in game week 33, so Sarr could still outdo Mateta in those game weeks, but I just feel like it's quite unlikely now after seeing Mateta do so well. Should I keep Rodgers or move him to Murphy/Gordon? I would keep Rodgers, I think. I feel like Murphy is really hyped because how well he done last game week. But I feel... no, Rodgers to Murphy makes sense, okay? I wouldn't be doing him to Gordon, no way. Saliba or Konate having Raya. Probably Konate. Hedge your bets. By the way, I apologize if I can't get back to all your questions. I'm trying my best. Thinking of selling Saka for Eze, then getting him back next game week by selling Palmer. I do quite like that, yeah? No chance Gordon starts. He won't be changing a winning side. Yeah, I agree, but I still think he could get 30 minutes in his first game. Maybe 70 in the second game, which is 100 minutes altogether, which I'd take. Okay, like I said, let's do that little scroll on Twitter. By the way, there are a lot of you who are regulars in here, and again, like I say, I really do appreciate you joining me every single week. Next season, like I said, I do plan on doing a bit more, expanding on different social media platforms, hopefully being a bit more consistent on YouTube. But what do you want to see from me? Do you want to see a bit more consistency from me? Do you want to see YouTube videos? If you do want to see YouTube videos, what do you want to see? If it's short form content, do you want it on Instagram or TikTok? Do you want to see me posting a bit more on X, doing Twitter threads? Like, what is it that you want to see from me? Hello, Alex Fernandez. Good to see you. Do let me know, though. I'm intrigued because I would love to up my game a bit. I feel like if I just tackle it, I could do quite well. And I do enjoy doing it. So if you guys are interested, I'm all for it. We want more, Choi. Objective Matt, another regular. We want more what, though? Be specific so I have a fair idea. You want more of everything? Because that can be done. It's just been a busy year. Should I buy Rodgers for Mbeumo this week? No. Players on my radar. Yeah, we could definitely do that. That can be done. Collaborations? Yeah, I'm sure we'll be doing collaborations if I'm a bit more active. Have people on my channel, is that what you mean? Because that can definitely be done. Start Barnes or Asensio? Asensio. Troy, what are your thoughts on Martinez, Marmouche, double Fulham defense, bench boost? No, I don't think that's bad. It's definitely not bad, but why not hold on to next week? Next week doesn't look bad. More midweek videos with your thoughts, differentials, etc. Okay. Tony Fungus says, I think you should stick with Twitter and YouTube since the following is already there, but you could do YouTube shorts for quick tips on game weeks. Yeah, I agree, Tony Fungus. The only thing with that, Tony Fungus, is I feel like TikTok is really easy, and I would back myself personally on doing quite well on that. I think especially from my age demographic, I feel like it would reel in a good few. And the reason I say TikTok is because when you make short form content for TikTok, you also, like, you can easily upload them straight to Instagram and YouTube shorts as well. Like, so if I make one, I might as well just upload them to all three. So like if I do any of those YouTube shorts, Instagram or TikTok, I'm doing all three because there's no point in just doing one platform. And TikTok definitely has the most gauge for people. I feel like it would bring in a different group of people. I feel like a lot of the people on X are kind of like the more serious managers. People on TikTok and Instagram would be more casuals, and it would definitely bring in a different group of people, especially people my age, which I think people would like. Do we need to get Salah on? Yeah, that's another thing. I don't own Mohamed Salah, which is a bit of an issue. It's definitely not great, but I'm gonna keep things the way they are. I think if as long as Palmer starts, I'm happy. Yeah, exactly, Tiny Fungus. That would be my thought process too. Triple captain Murphy or Isaac? I think there's no reason not to go Isaac. Mbeumo to Eze for a hit. Yes, I would say so. It'll probably pay off in 2 weeks. Any Saka news? No, not any Saka news other than the fact that I'm fairly sure Arteta said he's okay. The knock isn't anything too serious. I'm going all in on Oscar Bob on wildcard. Gut feeling he finally gets his place back. I'll be surprised, Jeb, to be honest. Sell Saka to a third Newcastle attacker. No way. No chance. I would hold on to Saka for next week for sure. That would be my thoughts anyway. FPL Mackham, good to see you. Morning, Shy. Have you got a route to Salah if you needed? No, I don't. I really don't. Let me quickly bring up my team on FPL team. See how we look for next game week. Next game week, I am bench boosting, and I'll have 2 free transfers because I am rolling this game week. Let's quickly make my team, shall we? Of course, the triple captaincy armband is active. What's your money in the bank? We currently have 0. which is not great. But of course, if I have another transfer next week, it doesn't look too bad. So in front of you, I have the team for next game week. Obviously, the Newcastle boys will be going to the bench. It will look something like that. And I feel like the only move I'd be willing to make that is obvious is Watkins for Isaac if Watkins is back in the team. That's the first move. So Solanke would go to the bench. Obviously, if Gordon's not getting minutes, that becomes an issue. Like I said, we would be bench boosting this, which is a very solid bench to be fair. But if Gordon becomes an issue, I'd get rid of him. For who is the question? I feel like I'm not exactly spoiled for choice, but I feel like I would like to be bold. Potentially go for one of the Villa boys, whether that is Asensio, Rashford, someone like that. But I feel like if Gordon is fit enough to play, I don't mind holding on to him for sure. And I'd be more than happy bench boosting with that bench. I mean, alternatively, we could go to someone else for Dan Burn, but I don't think there's anyone obvious that I could go to. Personally, anyway, if there's someone that's more obvious, shout me, but I feel like I'd be more than happy going with that. And let's just say I do roll the second transfer going into game week 34. Like I said, we would be free hitting. And in game week 35, we have 2 free transfers again. And then we can think about things as we go. My team for 35 isn't looking too good, but I assume that'll be the same for a lot of managers. By the way, Gabriel, it's quite hard to read comments when you have your whole team in it. If you could structure it a small bit better, because it's really hard for me to get a gauge of your team just by you putting in. That's why I'm not answering your question. I know you've put it in multiple times, but I do apologise. Should I start Savinho or Solanke over Solanke, Saka or Gordon? I would start Savinho over Saka. Harvey says, so Chai, no free hit left, so I'm unsure what the plan should be for this week and 34. Have wildcard, triple captain and bench boost left and 4 free transfers. Any suggestions? You know what? It's not the worst position I've heard. I've no free hit, so I'm unsure what the plan should be for this week and 34. I have wildcard, triple captain and bench boost. I would just triple captain this week if your team is decent. I would probably wildcard next week. No, you'd probably have to wildcard in 34 actually. I'd need to see your team, Harvey. But it's good that you have 4 free transfers. I think with 4 free transfers, it's definitely manageable. My plan hinges on Watkins being back in the team, but not sure on his minutes secure. Yeah, no, it's quite awkward with the Villa guys. I know we've looked at these doubles. I feel like anyone bar the Palace boys kind of look a bit dodge. Hi, choice. Start Guardiola or Saliba, Ederson or Raya, Rodgers or Saka. I would start Guardiola over Saliba for sure. I would start Raya over Ederson. And I would start Rodgers over Saka. I would start Rodgers over Saka. Hi choice. Start Saka, Savinho or Konsa. Savinho. My cat is just coming in, by the way. Yo, Shaw, you think I should go triple captain on Isaac, says Liam. I just want it out of the way. I don't feel like we're going to get a better opportunity to use it this season. 2 home fixtures. He's fit enough to play in my eyes. He's the best striker in the world. Newcastle are on good form. That's enough for me. And you'll be banking on Marmoush getting a double, but again, he is a City asset, so I don't want to bank on that personally. It would be nice to do something a bit different, but I'm more than happy to use it on Isaac this week. Are you short for money to take out Palmer and Solanke for Salah and Kuna? Let's have a look. Solanke for Kuna. Saka, I am well short. By the way, new contracts for Virgil van Dijk and Mohamed Salah. That is crazy. I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting that. especially with all the Salah talk. I feel like Salah would have just been offered a deal that he couldn't have refused. And it does make sense in fairness. Would you still sell your firstborn to see Spurs win a Premier League title, says Gary. Like, Spurs winning the Premier League title, that has just never happened. I'm not even going to try to entertain that. Start Saka or Strand Larson. Tottenham leaky. Lads, everyone's just smoking Tottenham. Spurs are leaky. I feel like, yeah, I would be starting Strand Larson. Minutes. Rhea or sells Rhea. What transfer did you use, if any? No transfer. Best striker in the world. Ninja Turtle. Kylian Mbappe is not the best striker in the world. No chance. Harry Kane, Isaac, Mbappe in that order. For sure. Without a doubt. Bench Marmouche for Bruno. Also, sell Guardiola for Bradley. I'm triple captain on Palace, Mateta. Logically, doesn't make sense to have him with a triple Palace and Bradley plays in 34. Save and free hit. Bench Marmouche for Bruno. No, I'll be starting Marmouche. Can't decide between Glaz and Howe. Glaz or Howe? I'd be on Howe for sure. 2 doubles that are home. Evening from Ataria. Eteria. How do I pronounce that? Why can't I pronounce that? FPL Shane, good to see you anyway. Triple captain Mateta, how mad am I? Not too mad. Mateta's on good form. Palace are on good form. I just feel like Isaac is better, but nothing wrong with Mateta. Mohammed says, hi Choi, should a bench boost with Martinez, Williams, Evan Nilsson and Guardiola? Yes, that's a good bench. Rodgers or Marmouche? Marmouche. Lewa? I mean, no, Lewa's not up there. No way, Franok. Lewandowski is not up there. Harry Kane clears Lewandowski. Don't start that. What? Harry Kane. Lewandowski, what are you talking about? There is no chance Lewandowski is a better striker than any of Isaac, Mbappe, or Kane. No, I'm not having that. There is no way. Kane goes to Bayern and breaks all of Lewandowski's records. You want me to believe that Lewandowski for Barcelona is better than Kane? No chance. Chai, what are your thoughts on no Liverpool in later game weeks being the best team in the league this year? Yeah, no, they've been the best team in the league by far. I feel like how the fixtures have come though, I feel like you can use money elsewhere. I'm not going to say that's the right thing to do, but rating Kane over Mbappe. Yes, I'm rating Kane over Mbappe. If Kane was in that Madrid team, he'd be doing silly things. How many goals has Kane done? I've roiled a few feathers here. Current Ronaldo. Leva is clear of Isaac. No chance. Isaac is ridiculous. Stop it, lads. As a Polish person, I'm extremely offended. He's the best. Yeah, but Franok, it doesn't matter where you're from. Why is my phone? I'm being rang. Apologies. I can't answer. I'll get back to that person after stream. No, it doesn't matter where you're from. Look, I'm Irish. That means in theory I should hate Harry Kane because he's English. No, not necessarily. I just go by how good they are at football. And for me, Kane is ridiculous. And I know they didn't win that first game, but I'm sure they'll be back. LeBron over Kane. Yeah, fair. Oh, lads, come on. Choice, Saka to start or no? I'm going to say no. And I'm just going to start Solanke over him. Watch this be another mistake. 110 people in here. Do me a favour. Do stick a comment in chat. I'm getting back to as many as I can. And do hit that like button while you're there. I do appreciate you for joining me. Minta or Enzo for this game week? I feel like it'd be Minta. I'm seeing a good few analytic managers bringing in Estupinian this week, which I feel like he's not one that's being talked about that much. Let's see what people are saying on bench Saka or Rodgers. Attempt to play Bo ideally. I wouldn't be bringing in Rice to my FPL team personally. Should I bench boost with Milenkovic, Konsa, Asensio, Gordon, Saka in my 11? No, I don't think so. Wait until next week. Do you triple up Villa next week? Maybe not triple up, double. S2 is banned from my teams. Never joined. Yeah, S2 opinion has always been hassle for my own team. I'm not gonna lie. Should I bench boost? I answered that. Play one of Saka, Guardiola, Foden. I mean, I don't know where my head would be at if I had Foden. I'd almost be praying he starts like. He's also kind of ass. You know what? Out of those three, I would just play Foden. I would just risk it. I still think in a given week that he could come up with something. Hi Choi, says Adam. Messed up with my assistant manager. I put it on Glasner for the double. Nothing wrong with that. Not thinking I've blocked myself for the big blank week. I've counted. Oh, see, that is an issue. Adam, that is a big blunder. I would say take 2 hits and then you might have 8 playing. Restock says, hello Choi. I'm also on Isaac triple captain. Let's hope he cooks. Absolutely. I feel like this triple captain has been a long time coming. Everyone played it really early as well. Start Bruno or Dunk. Always the attacker for me, Bruno. Rhea or Henderson? Henderson for the X save points, hopefully, if you have them. Solanke to Watkins for 1 free transfer. This game week, probably not. Triple captain Isaac or wait for City's potential double in 36. I'm sicking on Isaac. I think Foden is the least likely to start though. I feel like they're all as unlikely to start. I mean, Foden, he came off, he got hooked, and it also potentially is a knock. I mean, it's not great, is it? Bruno Guimaraes in? No chance. Keane says, Choi, please help. My mids are Salah, Sarr, Murphy, Savino with Saka benched. Would you make a transfer for either Eze or Palmer? I have 2 free transfers. Keane, I don't mind that. I think I would just roll again, personally. I feel like Saka could get some minutes, like, so I wouldn't be taking Saka out because he's the fixture next week, the double game week. My midfield is Rodgers, Foden, and Gordon. 1 free transfer. What should I do? Probably get rid of Foden is the answer. Choi Biscuit? Yes, sure. Choi, should I start Marmouche or Rodgers? I'd be starting Marmouche all day. Buy Asensio and sell Foden and then start Asensio over Saka, or wait until 33 to buy a Villa midfielder. If you are confident on Asensio starting versus Southampton, I'd buy Asensio now. You double Villa on who's next week? I'm gonna buy Watkins next week, I believe. Let me reset this. Here is my team for double game week 33. Choice, start Rodgers or Marino. For game week 33, here's the team. Rodgers or Marino? I would be starting Marino. Are you keeping Gordon? Yes, I am keeping Gordon. Abid, good to see you. He says, Choi. Amara says, Choi, should I bench boost Henderson, Rodgers, Nico Williams, Milenkovic? Should you? Yes, that's a decent bench boost. It's almost hard to say no to those though, because I mean you could also do it next week, but I feel like that probably is better than next week. Watkins has been horrible. Gonna skip him myself. Has some issues too. Yeah, I agree, but always play the double game weeks for me. Choi, would you start Murphy if you have Saka, Guardiola, and Konsa on the bench? Yes, I would start Murphy. I feel like a lot of people have similar teams. So I don't know how I'm going to climb rank. Maybe I just need this triple captain to go crazy. By the way, another fun fact. I've never, ever in my 7 years of playing FPL had a successful triple captain. So, good luck. Start Ray or Emi Martinez? Emi Martinez. Play the fixture. I'm playing Nico Williams over Guardiola. What do you think? No. Not for me. Triple captain Isaac, or by the way, how is this poll on Rodgers still up? Apologies. Start Marino or Gordon? I think I'll just play Gordon. Hope he gets 100 minutes. Mateta in? Not for me. Have triple Palace already and triple Newcastle. Currently on Potter and 2 free transfers. What would you do? I would hold on to those boys for sure. That looks really good. Probably the best 6 you can own. Currently on Potter at the moment. 2 free transfers. What would you do? Move it on to Eddie Howe, I want to say. Why triple captain now and not 36? I just feel like Isaac is on good form. He seems to be fit enough to get some minutes, so. Are you wanting to get Salah back in? No. I think this is a good fixture for Palmer to get back in form. What's happening in 36? So there's a likely double game week. I think 65% that City get a double, and so do Villa. Southampton and Bournemouth is a double. Alternatively, I mean, you could play it on potentially as Youngman's son come game week 36, depending on where Spurs are in the Europa League. Pedro Neto or Bruno Fernandes? Start one, bench one. Start Bruno Fernandes. You missed out on the Salah double game week earlier in the season. Yeah, I agree. Silly. Start Guardiola or Konsa? Guardiola. Verbergen or Henderson for bench boost? Henderson all day. Who would you triple captain in 33? Isaac. Or, not Isaac, sorry. I don't know why I said Isaac. Marmouche. Or Saka. Really depends on what happens in Champions League. And if Saka gets minutes this week. Adam Sousa, our channel member, says, what's up, Chai? I have my triple captain on Mateta currently, sitting at 200k, trying to finish in the top 100k. What do you think? Good luck this game week, my guy. I don't mind the triple captaincy on Mateta. I just think Isaac absolutely clears. You're sitting at 200k, so similar to me, and you want to finish in the top 100k. It's definitely likely, Adam. That's definitely on the cards. Lucas says, hey mate, which week should I bench boost? Game week 32 I have Reyes, Saka, Guardiola, Williams. Game week 33 I have Verbergen, Murphy, Livramento and Williams. First thing I would say is that's a very, very well structured comment. You put some time into that for me to make that easier to read. So I'm going to put more time answering it. And I do appreciate it. Reyes, Saka, Guardiola, Williams. I feel like that is much better than 33 personally, Lucas. I will be playing it this game week for sure. Joe Craddock says, I'm on bench boost this week of Gabriel and Foden, although I can't bring in 33 doublers as I'm on free hit 34. As I'm not on free hit 34. Is it okay to sacrifice 33 and have 7 doublers to get 11 for 34 for a -4? Free hit is my strategy for 36. That is quite interesting, Joe. I've not quite seen a strategy like that for people in the comments, but I don't think it matters which way you go if you're not going to bring in doublers for 33, because you're going to use those transfers down the line anyway. So I think either way, I would say look way up the fixtures. Bench boosting on Gabriel Foden. I have Gabriel and Foden, although I can't bring in 33 doublers. Yeah, Gabriel needs to go realistically, and so does Foden. Is it okay to sacrifice 33 and have 7 doublers? There's nothing wrong with 7 doublers. Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with that, Joe, for sure. Villa double, we can't seem to beat Palace these days, says Jonathan Shirley. T says, I'm at the stage of asking Google Gemini about Glasner and how now. No, that is fair. I'd stick it on how. I feel like it is a bit safer. 2 home fixtures. Murphy or Gordon, who's better to bring in? Definitely Murphy. For playing FPL for the first time, what should be considered a good rank to finish the season on? If this is my very, very first season of playing FPL, I think if you are finishing in the top 250k, that is decent. Considering if you're just learning about what chip strategy is, you don't even know what a bench boost is or a wildcard, like you still get mixed up trying to distinguish them. 2 seconds, I need to let my cat out. I feel like definitely in the top 250k though, because the way I look at that is my dad, okay? My dad has never played FPL before. This is his first season and he still doesn't know what a chip is, so I think if you're getting anywhere near the top 250k, you're doing well. No worries, Lucas. Sell Gordon for Asensio this game week? No. Are you bench boosting King? No. Manueke over Palmer? No. Hi mate, loving the content. A starting headache this week and wondering who you would start out of Marino, Saka, Guardiola, Konsa, considering a back four this week. I would start Marino. Marino / Guardiola is who I would start. Then it would be Saka / Konsa. Pick one out of Estupinian, Bradley, 8 Nori. On bench boost 32, free hit 33, and wildcard 35. I feel like Bradley would be the one for me, personally. FPL cat, yes. Should I bench boost Saka, Konsa for Bergen Williams? I just feel like Saka and Konsa could be benched, but I don't mind that. Dinesh, it's not bad. It's not great at the same time. My current strategy is bench boost 32, free at 33, then triple captain either 36 or 38 on De Bruyne. Everyone loves that 38 on De Bruyne for that send-off, but I don't know. Charlie says, Livramento and Potter, Williams and Howe, or Munoz and Potter, Williams and Glasner. That is a good few permutations. Personally, I feel like you need Daniel Munoz. He's been so good. And he has another double next week, so Munoz, Williams and Glasner. Munoz and Potter, I think. JB says, morning shy. Hope all is well, my man. Are you set on benching Konsa? Yes. Konsa versus Guardiola is a difficult one because the Palace assets I have. I would start Guardiola. Adam Sousa says, who would you start between Guardiola, Milenkovic and Saliba? Do we think Saka starts, or is he going to be nurtured for the Champions League? I think he's going to be nurtured. I'm going to say Solanke's going to start. I'd rather take the minutes off Solanke. Who would I start between Milenkovic, Saliba and Guardiola? I would easily start Guardiola. Is your dad a Spurs fan too? No, interesting fact, my dad was actually a Newcastle fan. I say was. He works in the Chinese and doesn't have enough time to watch him, so he's not as consistent. But my dad was indeed a Newcastle fan around the times Pape Cisse was around, which I think is very random because my dad isn't mad into football. You should have your dad do your stream for April Fools next year. Yeah, that's a good shout. Imagine. Are you triple captain? Yes, I am. Best differentials? I feel like it's very, very template right now, lads. You know who I think is a differential at this point? It's Cole Palmer. I feel like if he does start this game versus Ipswich, last time, and usually when he plays against these lower teams, I know he's not been on good form, but he can rack up a good number. If we look at previous times, where are we looking? Southampton 7-pointer, Ipswich, okay, blanked. Where am I looking? 10-pointer, 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 18-pointer versus Spurs, 14-pointer versus Villa. We do know he has it in him. And I wouldn't be surprised to see it if he does get decent minutes, more than 70 this week. We do know how good of a player he is, even though he's been slacking. Thoughts on Conor Bradley? Great move. Why are you playing Saliba and Raya over Ederson and Ruben? Aren't you worried about rotation affecting their clean sheets? Kai, I'm kind of tempted to start Konsa over Saliba, to be honest. Konsa over Saliba is on my mind. And I don't know why I got to this so late, but I was definitely thinking about it. Konsa's definitely the most likely to start out of those a lot as well. I'll put Konsa in for the time being, even though I'm not too hopeful of a clean sheet for those. Anyway, let's leave it like that for now. Hi mate, I hope you're well. I'm great. Have Potter as assistant manager. Move to Glasner for a -4 or Arteta for 0. Cheers. Glasner. Bench Saka, Guardiola or Saliba? Bench Saka. Is it too much to start Saka and Saliba over on Mbeumo Ruben? Probably yes. Mind me asking, how old is your dad, Chai? I suspect my brother is a Newcastle fan for similar reasons. My dad is almost 60. mid to late 50s. Hi Shay, are you planning on bench boost next week? Yes, I am. I've got Rashford and Consa as the only differentials from my mini league rival. Should I start one of them or both? He's about 40 points and copied my wildcard. Jamas or Yamas, that kind of sucks. Play the fixture, says Jonathan Shirley. Yeah, that is my own advice, to be fair. Only thing is, minutes is a bit of a worry for me, Jonathan. That's why it's a bit of a different situation, but you're right. I should back what I'm saying. I've got Rashford and Conte. I would start both Rashford and Conte, yes. Rotation is a real issue, yeah, for sure. Joe Craddock says, sorry, Chai, I should have clarified who I was taking out for Foden and Gabriel on my previous question. It would be Palmer and Dunk, and then I'm on free hit 36 and 7 doublers for 33. Ooh, Palmer and Dunk are good for sure. I do quite like that. Can you do Palmer and Estupinian? I feel like that's a bit bolder. Yeah, I do like those moves for sure, Joe. Savinho, Marmouche, or Palmer, bench one. I'll be benching Savinho. Whom to buy from the Brighton midfield? I don't love any of them, to be honest. I say love, but I just feel like you could probably hold on to who you already have. Would you play Saliba over Guardiola this week? No. Now I'm kind of thinking, do I just go all in on Ederson and Ruben Diaz, even though that's suboptimal because I have triple Palace? How do you not know your dad's age? FPL Chicken, because I don't live with my parents. I probably should know it anyway, but I don't know my dad's age because I don't live with him. That's going to be my excuse. I've never lived with my parents. Don't you think Trent will be back soon? That's why I'm worried about Bradley. I feel like the short term for Bradley and the price is probably where. Which one to bench out of Bruno, Rodgers and Murillo? I bench Murillo. Morning, Robert Sahari. I hope you're well. Welcome back. Yeah, we're back. It's always we're back. Hopefully I can say the same about my rank come the end of the game. Let's do a little scroll on Twitter. What we'll do is let's look at Rob T. Let's take a look at some graphics. I feel like it's been a minute since we've done one of these. Okay. What are we saying? Brighton. 2.5 expected goals. 50% chance of clean sheet. That's why people are bringing in SC opinion. Makes sense now. 50% chance of a clean sheet. That's ridiculous. Okay, so it looks like there are going to be a lot of goals this weekend. I've not seen a week like this. 2.5 for Brighton, 2.7 for Chelsea, 2.5 for Liverpool, 2 for Newcastle, almost 2 again for the second Newcastle fixture. Yeah, no, it's going to be a fun week, I think. I feel like FPL has been a bit underwhelming in terms of goals this season. I feel like the season has been, in general, underwhelming in terms of how things have went. Maybe I'm saying that because Spurs are sitting in the second half of the table, and so are United, but I don't know, I still feel like it's been a fairly bland season. No one really competing for the title either. I feel like it's Liverpool's to lose. Be very surprised if anyone but Liverpool won it at this point. Roger McSweeney, good to see you, my man. £5 super chat from FPL Chicken. I do appreciate you, FPL Chicken. Thank you so much. You don't need to be sending me money, but he says hopefully you get enough of this to get a coffee. Good luck this game week. Yeah, £5 is more than enough, FPL Chicken. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Appreciate the love. Juan Manuel Vasquez. That is a very, very Spanish name. He says, hi, I'm from Spain. That's brilliant. Rhea Areola, Consa, Virgil, Guardiola, Konate, Byrne, Salah, Palmer, Marino, Sarr, Murphy, Isaac, Slanky, Larson. 2 free transfers, bench boost this week, or better next week. Please advise for 2 free transfers. That is so hard to answer because I can't see the fixtures, even though I could probably compute it in my mind. I'm just going to say, because I can see... I'm going to say this week. Yeah, this week. Consa. Yeah, I would do it this week. One Manuel Vasquez. Thoughts on a burn captain? Get out of here, Renatus. Renatus? I can't say that. Leo X, does play Saka or Kiwiar? Or Digne or Mbuemo? I'll play Kiwiar and Mbuemo. If we got leaks at Marmouche's bench, play Savio or Boy Watkins Gakpo as a punt. I'll play Savio. 44% chance of clean sheet for Liverpool, 36 for Arsenal, in comparison to City's 34. To be honest, I actually fancy City's chances of a clean sheet. Now that I'm thinking of it, no Gabriel, no Saliba for Arsenal. Well, let's say in theory, if I'm backing no Saliba, then would I not be better off playing Ederson? Ederson or Ray, it's actually a bit closer than I thought it would be if I'm thinking that no Saliba. What? Hey, so are we activating triple captain? I don't know if it's going to be but I am. I do think it is a good play. Rogers or Murphy? Murphy all day. Thank you, Choi. Have a nice day. No worries, Juan Miguel Vasquez. Brilliant name. Is Game Week 33 the last double game week this season? No, Anton. There should be one in Game Week 36. Savinho or Rogers? Savinho. Rogers or Murphy? Murphy. Renatus says, but like, if Isaac doesn't score 2 goals and Newcastle get the 2 clean sheets, Burn will outscore. I mean, yeah, but if alternatively, if Isaac gets 2 braces, then he outscores Burn. You get what I mean? Obviously, it's going to be hindsight tax for whatever way you go. I'm not saying it's impossible that Burn outscores Raya or outscores Isaac, but I'm saying it's unlikely. Are Murphy's points at risk with Gordon coming back? At risk? I don't know if that's the right word. Look, I would say the hype about Murphy maybe is a small bit too high because how well he done last week, but I still think if he gets the minutes, he can do well in this double. Is it 100% confirmed that there will be another double game week? I assume you're trying to say. I'm fairly sure it is 100% sure, but it's just not 100% going to be City. It depends on City versus Forest game in the Cup. Hello, Choi. Chasing leader with the same team. Captain Isaac or Mateta or Murphy. Zubin, I would still play on whoever you think is most likely to do the best. I wouldn't go different for the sake of it. So Isaac is my answer. He leaves you in the dust if Isaac does well. Yo, Choi, only tuned in now. How come triple captain instead of bench boost? Because I'm unsure of the minutes for Saliba, Saka, Diaz and Ederson. I feel like minutes are kind of all over the place for my own team. It looks better next week. That's the best way to put it. If I go to my team for next week, again, here it is. I prefer that bench to this Arsenal one. Personally. I don't know what you think about that. Yeah, exactly, FPL Chicken. Gordon will be taken off for Barnes, not Murphy. But I think in general, with Gordon back, you're going to see more rotation. My opinion. Also, if you look at this graphic, Isaac, because he's 2 fixtures, 1.3 predicted goals. Which I would take. I would take minimum. I'd be happy with 20 points with this triple captain, I'll be honest. I've never had that in big. Okay, let's get back to my team. Start Edison or worried of a City backline? You know what? I actually don't mind City this week. Harvey Harris says, hi, Chai, thanks for the advice earlier. He says, got a plan in place, but now I'm wondering if I should triple captain Marmouche next week or Isaac this week. I'm just putting on Isaac this week. 2 home fixtures. What rank are you aiming to finish this season? Top 50k. It's gone poorly, but of course the goal at the start of the season was a top 10k. It always is every season. It's not that I don't fancy a JP Lloyd. I just think Isaac this week is too strong. Tosin Malin punt. Meh. Hey choice, sell Savinho or Saka for Eze or Roll. I wouldn't be selling Saka. Are you on triple captain Isaac? I am. Estupinian or Guardiola? If I was bringing one in, maybe I need to give this thought about starting Diaz and Ederson a bit more thought than I am. Crystal Palace at home. They got a clean sheet last week. Do I need to give that more thought? I mean, Ederson is just useless. I think that's why I'm so, like, not convinced by him, because he's just cat-like, isn't he? But then again, like, if I'm going to start Ederson, I have to start Diaz. It's all or nothing, like. Rhea and Konsa. I can't see Villa getting a clean sheet in that game. This team screams bench boost, says Chewy FPL. How's it going? Gordon's really been a pain in the ass for the last few weeks. Yeah, he has been, and he's not doing me any favours that I didn't go with Murphy. This team is screaming bench boost. I think it is if Saka was going to play. No Saka is really put me off. I feel like Palace score. I'm not too hopeful on Palace scoring. Fair play, lad. Hope you'll get a fat green arrow. Thank you, JP Lloyd. Hong Zong Zeng. You know what? I love the names. Earlier we had Juan Miguel something, and now we have Hong Zong Zeng. He says, start Diaz or Milenkovic. I would be starting Diaz. Okay, let me quickly look at how many points that team on bench boost would get me. I think the best starting lineup is this. Low key, it might be that, you know. Low key. Actually, it could even be that. It is that. Okay, let's do a poll. Start Ederson and Diaz. Yes or no? Am I being an idiot, lads? Is it obvious? Ederson makes no saves, ceiling is 6 points, period. Yeah, but Rhea is not any better. And also, if there's one keeper to get an assist, FPL Chicken, it is Ederson. He is 2 this season. Don't be telling me, come on, you Spurs. Hit a man when he's down. There's no come on, you Spurs about it anymore. Good morning, Chai. Good to see you. Sabella. Chess Econ, what's up? Oh, I don't know what to do. Do it, says Amar. It's 50-50. Please, for the 130 of you that are in here, do vote on that poll, because my head is kind of scrambled, I'm not going to lie. The one thing I would say is that I actually don't mind having the City guys for this Palace game, for this Palace game, because everyone has got the Palace guys, not just for this week, but for next week. 52% on no. The best name I've seen in chat is Drew Peacock. Yeah, that's good, to be fair. Shem Reddy says, start Dini or Marmouche. Is a hit worth it for Wood to Mateta? Yes. I just changed my bench, moved in Guardiola for Saka with 4 in the back. Strong bench with Savio, I think you mean. Saka, Saliba. Bench boost next week for sure. Almost all double then. Yeah, I agree. But why would I just start one City? You know what? What really threw me was looking at the Rob T graphic. 34% chance clean sheet for City. 36% chance to Arsenal. If we go down to Villa, they're 36% chance away from Southampton. Again, I never usually, like, these are all, this is why the decision for me is so close, because I could start any of them. It could go any way. It's gonna be swingy. I start Diaz. I have Verbergen in goal. Fair. What's up, Choi says, Mr. Marley Marl, hope you're well. Start Saka or Luis Diaz? I'd be starting Diaz personally. For sure. Start Saliba or Guardiola? Guardiola all day. Okay, I think I'm going to go all in on the City, guys. This is going to be such a mistake, man. Look at that bench. That is ridiculous. If Saliba and Saka start, I'm cooked. How has it come to this? Do you really think Konsa starts? I think he's more likely to start out of anyone out of that back four for Villa. Should I go triple captain on Isaac this week? Says Coutinho 10. Coutinho, what a blast from the past. I'm going to say yes. Oh, this bench is going to kill me. At home to Brentford. Oh, Lord. What chip strat are you on? Bench boost 33. Triple captain 32. Free hit 34. Confident on Gordon coming in? Yes. For 30 minutes versus United and 70 versus Palace. I reckon Saliba starts. Yeah, but no Gabriel was my thought process. Brentford are good. Saka on the bench feels 50-50. Is 50-50 enough for me to bench him? Yes, I think so. Some choi tiers are 430 when all three Arsenal players start. Yeah, if all three Arsenal players start, I can't lie, I'm fucking cooked. There's no two ways about it. 60% of the chat saying no, don't do it. Hi mate, good luck this week, says Europa 1. Kirkes or Saliba? Which one would you bench? I'll be benching Kirkes. Foden to Asensio, worth it, yes. Cheery FPL says start 2 of Gordon, Rogers, Marmouche. Can also sell Gordon to whoever. I would just start Gordon, man, and Marmouche. This is going to be a painful week. I feel shit giving advice because I feel I can go any way. I'm not certain on anything, which is shit because that's why you're asking me questions. You're asking for help, but I can't even give you solid advice. Saliba or Milenkovic? I would say Saliba. Saka or Rogers? Probably Rogers. Rogers or Foden? I would just play Foden because... no, I wouldn't. I would play Rogers. I'm confused. That's the best way to put it. 2 clean sheets in the last 2 for City. I think I do prefer going the double City route. I don't know why. I really don't know why. I never back City as well because they're cat. They're so bad. And Arsenal only conceded late in that game. Late enough in that game versus Everton. Start Timber or Konsa? I'm starting none of them, so that's what I mean. Like, probably Timber. Arsenal fan here. I'm pretty confident Saka doesn't start. Probably comes off the bench for the last 20 or 30 though, says Matt Dawson. That's what I needed to hear, my man. Thank you. That's Spurs, boys. Objective Matt. Look, I'm gone past it. There's no more Spurs, boys. Spurs are in the drain. Arsenal are second or third best in the league. I mean, I just want points at this point. Oh, Lord. I wish there was Spurs, boys, and we weren't shit, but I have Szoboszlai. Change for Gordon, Murphy or hold. I think I would change him to Murphy. FPL Mackham says my free hit is looking like Raya, Guardiola, Diaz, Munoz, Eze, Saka, Marino, Rashford, Mateta, Marmouche, and maybe Salah. That's quite good. Yeah, that is really nice. Could play Konsa or Guardiola. Feels daft to play Guardiola against all my attackers, but still tempted. You know what I mean? Like, even though he is playing against all my attackers, I feel like I'm being an idiot here. I've got triple Palace. I want to play double City defence versus Palace. And bench my double Arsenal defence versus Brentford, who I own no assets of. That is a bit silly, isn't it? Chat, tell me I'm silly. I swear to God if City get a clean sheet. I don't know, man. I don't know. Hedge your bets. Play Rhea and Ruben. That's what I was also thinking. I actually quite like that. And then both of them get clean sheets, and then we're all happy. You're a silly goose. Thank you, Sam. Couldn't have said it better myself. Maybe go for 1C. Start Rhea. Okay. Get Gordon for Rodgers. Get Gordon for Rodgers. No. It says downtown. Good to see you downtown, by the way. Will you sell Saka or Rashford if you're on free at 34? If yes, which one? No, I wouldn't. Start Rodgers for Bruno Guimaraes, Murphy or no? No. Well, no. Yes, lad, says Diz. Would you start Saka or Rodgers? Rodgers. Play Bruno or -4 for Watkins. Play Bruno. Mateto's not scoring this week, says Tiny Fungus. I hope you're right. When you say it like that, transfer Rodgers for Bruno. I answered that. Salah to bring us all to tears this week. Score a new contract hat trick. I just wouldn't be surprised. Such a silly willy dilly. Thank you, Adam. Fucking hell. Would you sell any of Saka or Rashford? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Who should I sell from Minoz and Sarr to get Glasner in? Probably Minoz, even though Minoz has been hot shit in the last few weeks. Are you on triple captain? I am. Thanks, broski. Say nothing. Start Guardiola or Konsa and Martinez or Rhea. I feel like I'd start Martinez in that situation because he's definitely going to play. Hi, Choi. I have Konsa, but he's a minute's risk. What Newcastle defender could I get? Livermento. How are you feeling about Isaac triple captain? I try not to overthink it, I'll be honest. How many players do you think everyone will have for game week 34? I feel like a lot will be on free hit, so I'm going to say 11. Salah to turn into 21, 22 Aubameyang, or Salah to turn into Salah 24, 25 Salah. if he's anywhere near that Salah in the last 31 weeks, then I'm in big trouble. Big trouble if I speak. 21, 22 Aubameyang. Rodri before his injury. Pogba on his day. Oh, Lord. No Salah. Benching double Arsenal. Let me see what other people are doing so I get a bit more confident in what I'm doing. Give me a full sense of security. Let's see what we have. FPL Ramen is indeed also triple captain. Very similar to my own team. Roland, bench boost, good luck goal. Fuck off. Give me something. Give me someone with a... Okay, this is FPL Torpy. He's got Guardiola, Rhea, Saka and Konsa on the bench. Okay, he's in a similar boat. He knows what's up. I don't love the Murphy differential captain, I'm not going to lie. Brokey says, hi Chai, Watkins or Marmouche? Marmouche. Palace are third best in the league for goals conceded, only 35. Southampton are the worst. So why not Watkins? What's your learned opinion on this? I would say I don't know if Watkins is going to play. That would be my only doubt about that. Would you start Saliba over Saka and Rashford? I think I would start Rashford ahead of all of them, personally. Should I captain Murphy based on Isaac form? No. What do you mean based on Isaac form? I feel like Isaac is still definitely not on form. He's not going to score every single week, let's be real. Sure, he's underwhelming versus Leicester, but nah. Isaac is the man. Isaac is the man. 140 people in here. Do me a favor. Do hit that like button. Let's try get the likes over 100. I don't know what is currently on, but... And let's keep scrolling on Twitter. I need to see more teams. If you want, at me your team. I'll check out one or two. If you'd like. On stream. Is it worth getting Asensio? If you're confident on his minutes, yes. FPL Anton says Morning Ross. It's just a copy and paste to FPL Raptor. Morning Ross, if you had the start two of Guardiola, Saka, Concept, Bowen, who would you start? I'd start Bowen and Guardiola. That's so funny. Start Rashford or Guardiola? Rashford. Play the upside. If Rashford starts, he could get a hat-trick versus the Southampton team. I'm telling you. Purple patch player. I've seen it before. Familiar with his game. Hopefully you beat my Game Week 6 triple captain on Haaland. I can't remember the time I got a haul from a triple captain, I'll be honest. I'm shocking with it, lads. Honestly. Isaac is the man, though. My second time owning Isaac this season. I missed him throughout that golden form period. Looks like Liam has sent in his team. Let's look at Liam's team. What's he saying? Liam's also triple captain activated and pension triple Arsenal. He's playing Martinez, which I said to play the fixture. I agree with that. Love it. Very good team, Liam. Haaland and Game Week 2 triple captain, you jammy bastard. Connor says, hi Shai, are you making any transfers this game week? No, I'm not. I'm holding strong with what we have. I'm going to pray that Gordon gets 100 minutes. I need Solanke and Son to do something. Last game week he was so unlucky. Don't get me fucking started on the Spurs assets. They're useless. Every single week, man. Without fail. Bench 2 of Saka, Rashford, Marino and Konsa. Bench and Saka and Konsa. How am I feeling about my team? I really don't know. It's like, on paper, it looks so good. When I look at the players that could possibly be benched or start, I'm not feeling too hot on Saka and Saliba being benched. I just can't bench any of Gordon, Palmer. The double game weeks just really throw me. I need Solanke and Son to do something. I wish Spurs weren't shit. I feel like if Spurs weren't shit, the season would be so much more exciting owning their assets because they're not too expensive. But we are. I've added you, says FPL Mackham. Have a look. Okay, let's take a look. FPL Mackham's team. What's he saying? Bench boost active thoughts. That is brilliant. See, that's a much nicer bench to bench boost with than my own. You'd back Minta getting a start. For sure. Kirkers as well. Ari Zabalaga though, I feel like that bench is a bit fake. You'd be starting Ray in that situation, but nice bench regardless and good team FPL Mackham. And we have Ferris, who that's brilliant. I love. If you're going to send me your team, do keep me in the corner. That's brilliant. Malin in there, very very interesting. No triple captain though. He is also not playing bench boost. Rico Lewis in there. Double Forest versus Everton. Bench and Digne. That is tough. That's a tough call. But another very strong team. I'm sure you're hung up about the bench as well. Would I have it any differently? I think personally, I would have one of Rhea or Digne in there to hedge my bets. That's just me though. Again, I own no Forest, so maybe it's a bit of bias. We'll do one more, and that is Kurosaki. Another very nice team. I assume you wildcarded last week. I do love Martinez this week. I feel like he's very solid. This is the better version of my own team with Salah and Palmer in it. Fucking hell, that's a good team, man. You must have some decent team value. Triple captain's also active. Best of luck for those that sent in your team. Off topic, says FPL Chicken. He says, what do you think is wrong with Spurs? On paper, they have a great team. What is wrong with Spurs? A few things. The owners, that's the first thing. The lack of, well, the injuries. We've had a decent few injuries in our back four. I don't think, like, I need to explain that to anyone. Rhythm, especially defenders. It's important that a back four gets some time together. With Dogi being injured, Romero, Van de Ven, Dragushin, Ben Davies, Porro even injured. Like, we just had no consistency with a decent back four. Even our keepers, with Vicario getting injured. I think, as funny as it is, we do have a good team on paper. Son has just been a bit rubbish. What we're missing this season and compared to previous seasons is the difference actually is Harry Kane. I feel like it's been no different except Kane has just carried us through the gutters. He's the reason we've been in the top half of the table when we've been shit. And I do think if we just had a decent team at the back with no injuries with Kane, man, what it could have been. But yeah, let's not speak about Spurs because I'll get upset. Oh, fuck off FPL discomfort. Speaking of Asna fans, agree with those. I'd add manager, quality of players, and personality of fan base. I just knew as soon as I saw FPL discomfort, he's fucking lurking in the shadows, about to say something about Tottenham. Love you, buddy. Best of luck this week, Kieran. Hope you have a terrible, terrible game week. But thank you for joining me for another stream. And while you're there, do hit that like button for me, Kieran. Start or bench Saka. Kieran, let me know where you're on with the Arsenal assets. Do I have the bench the right way, or am I being a biased Spurs fan? Activate Kane buyback clause, I wish. Kieran, let me know where your head is at. 60% say no on the poll. Interesting. Bench boost instead of triple captain, says Simon. Bench boost in 20 minutes Saka. A chance of Saliba being benched. Chance of Konsa being benched. Or wait and be patient. And bench boost with Burn versus Villa, Gordon versus Villa, and Isaac versus Villa. And double game week for Ederson. I don't know, man. Timing couldn't have been better. I tuned in as soon as you were talking Spurs. Fucking typical. How do I say that? Damasani says, would you bench Mamouche to play both Eze and Sarr? Yes, I would. My midfield would be Palmer, Salah, Murphy, triple captain on Isaac. Yeah, I love that. I wouldn't think twice about it. Why am I benching the Arsenal guys? Just because I think there's a more chance that I'm playing minutes with Diaz, and I'm hedging with Raya. I'd be surprised to see Saka start. He's decent versus tired legs, but there's a chance he may get nothing if the game's won. Who knows? Exactly, the FPL discomfort. It is a grey area, and that's my thoughts exactly. Triple captain or bench boost? I'm on triple captain. Please explain the logic over Ruben over Saliba. Well, Saliba's not certain to start. And I do think I'd like to hedge my bets with one City asset. Raya or Martinez? It would be Martinez for me if I had him. Saka's going to start. If you think Saka's going to start, play him. FPL Chicken says, can always bench boost in 36. My bench boost this week is Raya, Saliba, Savinho and Konsa. All fingers crossed. I feel like if Raya, Saliba, Savinho and Konsa was my bench, I'd be more inclined to bench boost than if it was Saka. Here in back four, Aston Villa rotation shy. Yeah, I won't be surprised. Team news, doesn't look like we got it in solid. Okay, let's do a little scroll on Twitter to make sure we don't miss anything. 5 minutes until the deadline. 150 people in here. Again, the like goal is 100 likes. Do hit that like button for me. Do let me know if you have any queries with your team. I'll try to get back to as many as possible. FPL Pickle is locked in. Bench boosting, very nice. I do think Palmer can do well this week. I need him to do well because I've not got Salah. I could be in big, big trouble if Salah does well this week. You could see me slipping down to 300k, which on a week where I'm triple captaining, that would be crazy. quick, Foden to Asensio or Savinho? Asensio. Start Marmouche or Rodgers? Marmouche. I need to scroll on Twitter to see if we get any leaks. George, are you still in here, by the way? Gabriel to Saliba and benching Saliba. I'm so confused. What is Oscar doing? Oh, he's trying to do team value. Okay, fair. I see George is still in here because he is moderating chat. Brilliant. Do you genuinely think Gordon will start? No, I think he can get 30 minutes off the bench though, and that's enough for me to play him. Personally. Triple captain active? Triple captain is indeed active. By the way, let me screenshot my team before I forget. And keep it an eye. Cheers, George. Let's make sure we don't miss anything. Diego Godin, remember him? Jesus Christus is Adam Tucson. My triple captain on Mateta is scary. I need a Xanax. Yeah, I think I'd be surprised to see Isaac not over 200% effective ownership. I feel like a lot of people will be triple captain this week. Is Gordon to Rodgers worth a transfer? No, it's not. Definitely not. Over 2 games, I still expect Gordon to get more minutes than Rodgers. In my opinion. I have Raya, start 2, Saliba or Guardiola or Nico Williams or bench Marmouche and play 3 defenders. A lot of people speaking about benching Marmouche. I don't think I'd be doing that. I have Raya and start 2 of Saliba Guardiola. I'll start Guardiola. Starting Guardiola for sure. For sure. 2 minutes until the deadline. Who to start of Rashford, Saka, or Nico Williams? I'll be starting Rashford, personally. A lot of people waiting for some City leaks, but I don't think it's happening. Start Hudson-Odoi or Saka? I think I would just start Saka in that case. 1 minute now until the deadline. Let me fix that timer because it should be less than a minute now. There you go. That's better. So, lads, I'm locked in. There's my team for this game week. I don't know how to fucking feel about it, I'll be honest. Best of luck this game week. I hope I've been somewhat helpful, even though it's been a weird stream where I haven't felt confident answering your questions because I just feel like it's such a grey area on who's starting this week. Again, thank you to the 150 that are still in here coming towards the end of the deadline. I really do appreciate it. It's good to be back for another stream. Do me a favour before you leave. Do hit that like button. Many green arrows to come, hopefully. Hopefully a top 50k finish to come towards the end of the season. And I'm going to post my team on X for anyone that's on there. So do check that out and leave your team below. So as usual, guys, we'll see you next game week for the next deadline. And have a good weekend. Bye-bye.